travel trouble to our south. This is Sioux Falls, South Dakota, late this afternoon. There's widespread snow in the eastern part of the state, and it's creating some slippery driving conditions and reduced visibility.
Here in the metro area, we have slushy roads, and after driving it myself about an hour and a half ago, conditions can be deceiving. What might look like icy is okay. What looks fine can be dangerous. Bottom line, take it easy.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us tonight. You're almost tucked into bed for the evening, so the biggest worry now is what will conditions be like tomorrow.
Now, the snow has let up, but it's just a break in the action. Hutch has been watching his computer models all night. What's out there?
Well, we have updates to those computer models, and we've actually now had some opportunity to see where the heaviest bands of snow are setting up as this storm system makes its way into the northern plains. Here's a look at the radar in the FM area right now. We're starting to see a little bit of a dry notch along Highway 10 out to the east in Minnesota, but some of the heavier bands are just shifting to the north of the FM, where you see the dark blues and whites along Highway 200 from Griggs, Steele and Trail counties into Fosston and the Polk County area. Some moderate to heavy bands of snow taking place right now. The winter weather advisory has been extended northward to reach into East Grand Forks, as well as Crookston and Fosston as well, and Michigan as well, as the snow bands are continuing to push north. Winter storm warning continues for portions of South Dakota. Here's a look at the big picture. There is a little bit of a break, a dry slot of air to the south of us. That's causing things to slow down, but things are ramping back up in southwestern Minnesota, where we've had reports of 5 to 7 inches of snow, 1 to 5 inches in the Twin Cities, and anywhere from 1 to 3 across our viewing area, with up in Grand Forks about 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch reported there. Snow will continue to accumulate during the overnight hours. Some of us by daybreak will see as many as 6 inches of snow, maybe a little more in isolated spots here. Hour by hour forecast is coming up here in a few moments, but suffice it to say, allow extra time to get to your location first thing in the morning, because it will come in handy to clear the windows and give yourself that time on those roads.
Good advice. Thanks, Hutch.
Well, the road conditions vary a great deal depending on where you live. Taking a look at the live road conditions in North Dakota, here's the map. It's fine in the northern valley and west, but a large part of the southern valley and the eastern side of the state has snow-covered roads. I-29 north of Fargo to Hillsboro does have some scattered snow and drifts as well.
In Minnesota, the more you go south, the more trouble you're likely going to drive into. There are plenty of snow-covered roads in the southwestern part of the state of Minnesota and in parts of west central Minnesota. A winter storm warning is in effect in the Travers and Big Stone area. And you can stay up to date on the weather conditions as they unfold on your smartphone or tablet. Just download the Storm Team weather app to get the latest weather conditions and even follow the radar live. Just search VNL Weather in the App Store. And for updates on any schools, delays, or closings, head to valleynewslive.com and click on the weather closing banner. It's on our homepage. That's going to keep you up to date on everything you need to know to plan your day.
A semi crossing the center line is the cause of a rollover crash that killed Park Christian brothers Zach and Connor Qualvog and injuring their 2 friends last summer. That's according to the final crash report released by the Minnesota State Patrol. Valley News Team's Cornelius Hawker sat down with the father, Ray Qualvog, who says the final crash report will likely not be the end of this matter.
I wanted some of the graphic photos out of the crash report that I didn't think needed to be publicized.
That's just one of the reasons Ray Qualvog and his wife Kathy wanted the Minnesota State Patrol to hold off on releasing the final crash report. He says the vehicle his son Zach was driving, a 2010 Dodge Ram 2500 crew cab, is now part of a massive recall, which he believes contributed to the wreck.
6 airbags, none of them went off. The roof coming off. Those are things that, need to be investigated more thoroughly.
But the State Patrol's investigation points to the semi-truck driver for causing the wreck. Along with wanting that information considered before their final crash report was released, Qualvog says he is facing pending litigation from the family of Mark Schwant, a passenger in the vehicle. Qualvog says he's offered to pay all medical expenses for both teenagers, Mark Schwant and Jimmy Morton. Morton's mother, Sandra Morton Taylor, says she's not had any trouble with getting medical expenses for her son covered.
Every doctor's appointment that we went to in the beginning, I gave them Ray and Kathy's information, and I have not seen a single bill.
In this text message, I reached out to the Swants, asking them if they could comment on the pending litigation Qualvog says he is facing from them. It was read by someone, but I did not receive a response back.
They are going after my insurance, which is what they're claiming. But what's not being said is my insurance is only X amount of dollars. For the money they want above that, that comes out of me writing checks.
Which Qualvox says makes this tough situation even worse. Cornelius Hawker, Valley News Live.
Now, Qualvox says he's still willing to work with the Schwants and take care of their son's medical expenses, but he would prefer to do it without involving attorneys.
A petition was accepted today to put an initiated measure on next year's North Dakota ballot to legalize medical marijuana. That means supporters of the measure will be able to start collecting signatures. If it's passed by voters, the initiative would make it legal for North Dakotans to possess up to 3 ounces of marijuana for medical purposes. It says those who qualify could get the drug from a state licensed dispensary or grow a limited supply for personal use. However, more than 13,000 signatures are needed to get the question on the ballot.
4 students have been suspended after a random search at Lake Park Audubon High School. The school isn't saying what was found, but we do know the discoveries were made in the school parking lot. It's also not known just how long the kids will be suspended. The district conducts 5 a year. One was conducted at the high school last Monday. In the wake of the suspensions, some board members are questioning whether the punishment was too harsh. LPA chooses to use an outside agency called Interquest to conduct the searches. Interquest says its dogs are able to detect substances that police dogs can't. A source tells us that a canine detected a shell casing in a student's car, but says it didn't belong to the student.
Our policy states that the vehicle that's been driven to the school by the student, and whether it belongs to a parent or the student, in many instances it's hard to ascertain, who the items belong to.
We'll continue to follow this story for you. The matter will be discussed at an upcoming Policy Personnel Committee meeting. And remember to like Valley News Live on Facebook. You can follow the latest news, weather, and breaking news updates anytime on your feed. Just search Valley News Live, like our page, and you'll stay informed throughout the entire day.
Valley